Hello, Eastern West Virginia Technical Community College Art 100 Summer 2026 students. So every semester, make one of these little videos, kind of showing you guys how to get an A, what to expect in the class, and also talking about your first assignments. The information in here is super important as we move forward, especially because the summer is such a compact time frame. So I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet. If you've taken other Brightspace courses, some of this information might be a review. If this is your first class, definitely stick with me. And everybody needs to stick with me because we're going to talk about the first assignment at the end. All right, these are the learning outcomes. So by the end of the semester, or the end of the summer, I should say, you will all be able to identify, analyze, compare and contrast, present opinions. You're going to do that quite often, and sort of recognize a lot of different art movements, kind of what you're looking at when you look at art. Moving on. Okay, attendance. Throughout this course, attendance will be recorded through your participation. So are you doing the discussions? Are you participating in quizzes? There's a paper that needs to be written, all of those kind of things. You're expected to meet course deadlines. Those course deadlines are definitely coming at you, especially through this summer. I kind of want to drive that home. Late assignments will not be accepted without approval by the instructor. On that note, if you have scheduled to get your wisdom teeth out on a certain date or something, let me know ahead of time. We can make sure that you are all caught up. If I need to open something early so that way you can complete it before you're getting this major surgery or something like that, let me know. I'm super happy to work with you, especially if it's ahead of time. If you try to contact me 2 days before the semester ends, that you need this whole group of stuff taken care of, you're not going to be met with the same willingness to work with. And that probably goes for all of your instructors throughout all of your academic career. Okay, let's get on this. All right, so what are we looking at? So this image is from Brightspace. So when you first come into the class, this is what you should be seeing, right? So something might look different, like this little top image up here. Let's kind of change that. This might look different for you guys, but the main things are most important are here, right? This is our calendar. It has upcoming events. This upcoming events means when things are due and when things will be open. If you scroll farther down, right, and keep going down past this, it has a little work to do. And this will tell you exactly what discussions need to be done and what quizzes need to be done. So right now, our first assignment is due Friday, the 29th. We're on a little bit of a short schedule with that, but it's an introduce yourself thing. So you don't need to know any information for that, but you need to get that done. The school makes me record who's participating, especially at the very beginning. So that way we can reach out if students are need dropped or have dropped, that kind of stuff. So get that done right away so that way you don't end up on one of those lists for that. We're going to talk more about that information. Let's move forward. All right. So if you were to, that was the course home is kind of where we just were. Next to that is here where it says content. And that brings you to what's known as the table of contents. It's this kind of area right here. The very first thing is start here, welcome, right? You can see it right there. That's where this video lives. And I'm also going to email it to everyone. So hopefully you're watching it kind of early via email. Underneath of that is the syllabus and assignment schedule. This is our assignment schedule for summer. Mondays and Fridays are big days in this class. So Friday, the 29th, that's when our first discussions due. Now, things are broken down by week, and we're going to talk more about this probably. So the way this class works is every Friday and every Monday you have a due date, but you have an entire week to work on that. So something will open Monday and then it will be due Monday. Another assignment will open Friday and be due Friday. And that's how we're kind of compressing the normal 15, 16-week semester into this shortened semester throughout the summer. So with that note, try to keep it in your mind that you're going to be kind of checking in with this class very often throughout the summer. On that note of the syllabus and assignment schedule, let's say you're checking it and you're looking, because it's kind of like once we get into it, you'll notice that it's mostly discussion, video lecture, quiz, kind of like it follows a pattern. And you think, well, I should be seeing something. It says in the assignment schedule that I should be seeing this discussion, but I can't see it. Shoot me an email as soon as you realize that. I'm a human, make mistakes, technology makes mistakes. I could have put that this assignment would be visible in 2028, right? Or in 2024, and you can't see it, right? Just kind of simple mistakes like that. So do not hesitate to email me. I will get back to you guys. Usually goal is 24 hours to get back with you over the summer. I'm pretty good at that, but life happens and I'm away from my computer or something sometimes. So I will get back to you. All right, work will be due, like I just said, kind of refresh on Mondays and Fridays of every week, and you'll see a list. This is an old image. The other one had a better image, kind of what to do. So you're watching this video lecture, you're doing this discussion based on it, and you're taking that quiz. With that note, what I would do is if I was a student in this class, what I would do is I would go to the discussion first, read the discussion, try to figure out what the discussion, what artwork in the video is the discussion about? What's it asking? Is it asking me a critical thinking question? Is it asking me to regurgitate some information? That kind of stuff. Then watch the video lecture, then take the quiz. So, and also do the discussion at that time. So you're kind of like, what am I being asked? Gaining that information, then taking the quiz on it. That's how I would do it. And that's how you would do it if you would get an A. All right, moving on. What do you need for this class? You do not need a book anymore, which is awesome. Eastern wanted to kind of eliminate barriers like that, so now we use an OER. So what you need is a computer with reliable internet access throughout the summer. Like I said, you're going to want to come at least twice a week, minimum of twice a week to the class, sometimes more, because some discussions need you to reply to other students and that sort of thing. All right, moving on. All right, so how are you going to get information if we don't have a book? There's a series of videos. So they are made by me. They are not perfect, but they get the job done, and they usually consolidate the information. So that way, we've all taken textbook courses where there's like a whole chapter of just like, this is not pertinent information. The nice thing about the video lectures made by me is they kind of boil it down, and it's what you really need to know or what you really need to find interesting. Where are they? So there's unit 1, the basics here. That's where our first one is. There, you'll have to like scroll down through this learning outcomes information. Then there'll be a lecture, and the quiz should be right underneath of it for all of the assignments. Now, discussions are in a slightly different area. So where you find the lectures and the quizzes is going to be in the table of contents within their specific unit. There are 3 units within this course. There's one exception, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So we're going to talk about discussions now, where to find them. We're at the same place up here in this green navigation banner, I think is what they officially call it. There is the discussion section, right? So that's where we want to go. Okay, we're going to the next slide. Okay, now we're in the discussions. Discussions range in 10 points to 15 points. This is important. They are not optional. I don't know if in other classes that's a thing, but they're part of your grade. They total up because there's so many of them. It feels like, oh, they're only worth 10 points. It's not important. But they all come together to be worth more than any quiz or test or exam, right? So you need to be participating in them. Most of them are 100 words, asking about content. Some of them have other requirements where you're posting something, then you're commenting on a fellow student's work, comparing and contrasting what does my idea and their idea have in common, that kind of stuff. So you need to read each of them. They're going to be, like I said, available that Monday to Monday and Friday to Friday kind of correspond. So every Monday and every Friday, something is due in this class. All right, moving on. All right. So there's one kind of week that is an exception that falls into a slightly different category, And that is, it's in Unit 1, and it's like this subcategory of the formal analysis writing assignment. I believe it's due June 22nd, but double check your assignment schedule. It's your responsibility as a student. So in this section, there is everything you need is in that subsection. So this is where you'll turn the paper in. This is video instructions. This is links to important information, the rubric, the OWL writing lab, the written instructions, right? There's a ton of information. There's no way that anyone can do this and say, I didn't know I was supposed to put sources in, right? It's that information's in the rubric, it's in the video, it's written down. So there's lots and lots of information for you. No excuses on, I didn't know, because it's all definitely there. So that's the only kind of week that's a weird exception to the rule. And it will have to do with the information that you gained the week before. So that's why it's timed like that. All right, moving on. All right, so this is just some important touchstone information that I want to touch on. So academic dishonesty, the policy on that. So Eastern's not going to tolerate academic dishonesty, and neither am I. And I'm going to start calling students out on what I think is AI. So let's say I ask you a question. Let's say in the video, I talk about said work of art, and I talk all about the color, and I talk all about all of these kind of information and this new technology that was apparent in the world at that time. And then your response has such and such painting was painted by this artist, and they were born at this time, and they were married to this person, and all of this information that's not part of the video lecture, that's not at all got anything to do with the question that I'm asking, but is factually correct, I'm gonna kind of buzz you on AI with that. So watch the video and respond in kind. There's no reason to shortchange this. It's not anything critical, like, you know, it's not, it's asking your opinion, it's asking you, why are things set up like this? What information did you learn from this? That kind of stuff. It's nothing that you need to use AI for. All right. So syllabus change statement, I just want to make this clear. Sometimes things change, technology, we are all people who lived through the pandemic, so we are aware that life can change. There might be some kind of technological thing, nobody could access said discussion, so now it's due a week later, whatever the case may be. And you guys will all be notified of that via announcements in Blackboard, emails, I'll let you guys know. Now, this is the next part is kind of important for this class. So this is a special note on this class and on kind of college in general. So due to the nature of what we're talking about in this course, which is often the human condition, you might see things or we might talk about things that might be slightly uncomfortable. So what does that mean? That means that you are absolutely going to see nudity in this class. We're going to talk about human sexuality a little bit, touch on that. Human sacrifices. We're going to talk about a variety of religions. We're going to talk about a variety of wars, right? And kind of the things that come from that. So some of these things might be slightly uncomfortable, right? Talking about human sacrifice or the potential that that would be, or that there would be art made to celebrate human sacrifice is kind of uncomfortable. But this is all part of the human experience, and also this is a college course. And that, so on that note, we're not going to make negative references to these kind of things. We're going to try to look at them through an academic lens. So I just want to kind of prepare everybody for that little bit of nudity and some of those like sexual topics and that kind of stuff. It's minor, but it's definitely in there. All right, moving on. All right. If you need accommodations in any way, talk to the school, talk to me. I'm happy to help you. This course is pretty accessible. If you need extra time for the quizzes or discussions or anything like that, let me know. Eastern has a ton of resources for you. Take advantage of them. So. All right, so this brings us to our first discussion, which is due on Friday. Right, so you do not need to know anything about art to participate in this first discussion. So this is the introductory discussion, and what you're going to do is you're going to tell me who you are, what you are studying or plan to study, when and where you would go if you had a time machine, why you would choose this place, and then just for fun, how do you get your caffeine? So this is who, what, when, where, why, how. If you wish to attach a photograph, you can, but no pressure if you do not. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. So my name is Lacia Oliverio. I studied art and specifically ceramics in college. I went to WVU and then I went to Clemson University for my master's. So when and where in time would I go if I had a time machine? I want to pause and I want to say, why am I asking you this question? There is a history element to this class. So it might be fun to think about. I just want to get your brain kind of reeling in that. Would you want to go way back in time? Would you want to stay kind of, we'll say, local, right? Because technology is there that makes your life um, easy and accessible, right? I had a student in the past who was like, the toilet was invented, I Googled it at this time, and I don't want to go any earlier than that. And I thought that was a really honest answer. So tell me why. Tell me what fascinates you about that place, because there's a history element to this class. And then how do you get your caffeine just for fun? Are you a hot tea, cold tea, sweet tea, that kind of person? I am a coffee with cream person. All right. And then, so get that done by Friday. All right. This is my email. This is my information. Contact me. There's also a link in Blackboard that's like email your professor, that kind of stuff. Don't hesitate. Like I said, goal is getting back to you in 24 hours, but especially on weekends or something like that, I might be away from my computer. So give me a little bit of leniency on that. It's going to be a great summer, guys. Thank you so much.